Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today, it's time to look at the second year of the Pokemon TCG. You see, the other day I showed you the first year of the Pokemon TCG, and we looked at which sets you should be investing in. Well, I think it's only fair to go and have a look at the second year now. And if you're watching this, that means that my son has probably just been born. So I'm going to be a little busy the next couple of days, making a couple of videos like this one in advance. If you want to watch a couple of extra videos, help your old pal Wassy out while he's super tired, trying to struggle with 3 children now, that would be rather lovely. I'd be pretty grateful. So year 2 of the Pokemon TCG Sword and Shield featured battle styles. That was where we started off. We then moved on into Chilling Reign. After Chilling Reign, we saw Evolving Skies. And then after Evolving Skies, we finished off with Fusion Strike. And that was the end of year 2 of the Pokemon TCG in Sword and Shield. So which one of these should you be going after? Which one of these should you be excited about? Well, I think it's worth starting off at the beginning, having a little bit of a look at the price of booster boxes, because this is going to tell you a lot of the time what is actually the set people are interested in at the moment, which ones people are actually, well, excited about. And if we take a look at Battle Styles, and I've shown you this a couple of times recently, Battle Styles is not an expensive set for which to buy a booster box. Now, you have to forgive me, the shipping here is kind of showing shipping to the UK, but if I go and look on eBay, and I look at trying to buy a booster box of Battle Styles, I can do it for $80. Now, I know a lot of people like to argue about the RRP of booster boxes. There is no argument. There is no separate RRP for booster boxes. So the RRP is the RRP of 36 packs, and 36 packs at $3.99 is $143.64. That is the RRP of a booster box. $80 is quite a bit less than that, so certainly in terms of booster boxes, Battle Styles is just super cheap at the moment, so if you want to invest in that, now is a good time to do so. And I could say the same thing about Chilling Reign. Now, Chilling Reign, you're looking at probably nearer to $85, but Chilling Reign is another set at the moment where picking up a booster box of it is just ridiculously cheap. If you want to be picking up these sets, if Chilling Reign is the one you want to be investing in or collecting, phrase it how you will, now is an absolutely wonderful time to do so. It is ridiculous how cheap these have gotten. Now, Evolving Skies, I'm afraid, is not quite the same. Evolving Skies is getting harder and harder to buy booster boxes, at least at retail. And let's not go silly, right? They're still about $150. Generally speaking, they tend to be selling around about $150. That is not exactly hideously expensive. Like I've said, the RRP of these is $143.64, so $150 is just a tiny smidge above retail. And I know a lot of people like to tell me, hang on a second, Wassy, I'm used to paying $40 for booster boxes. Well, I know you can often find them cheaper. I've just shown you the past 2 sets you can pick up for $80, $85, but I'm telling you now that Evolving Skies, it's not really available for retail. You're going to pay a few dollars above. And then finally, Fusion Strike, you should be paying again around about $85, even though that is a more recent set. That is one that is actually a fair bit cheaper than Evolving Skies. But, and I did mention this in a video the other day, the fact that it is sandwiched between Evolving Skies and Brilliant Stars might tell you why it's, and I do think this is going to go down as a completely underrated set, but you can see why. So certainly, on the face of it, looking at the price of booster boxes, it looks like we should be investing in Evolving Skies. It looks like that should be the one we're going for. So, if we go and have a look at some of the top cards in each of the set, then we'll go through an order. We'll start off with Battle Styles. Battle Styles is not a set which has got a whole bunch of money cards in it. It's just not. Essentially, in terms of battle styles, you've got some of the alternate art cards. So you've got that amazing Tyranitar done by Hayaganosuke, which I've realised I really need to be picking up sooner rather than later. I adore that card. And you've got the Rapid Strike Urshifu. They are both around about $50 cards. And that is the high end. Like, if you're looking at trying to be picking up singles or battle styles, that is about the most you are going to be paying for cards. Those two cards coming in at about $50 each. That is the high end. And that's kind of nice. And I mean, it drops from there. I think the Empoleon alternate art is absolutely stunning. It's still a single I should be picking up, but haven't. That's like a $20 card. I can go on TCG Player right now and buy that for $20. That's absolutely ridiculous. Gold Level Ball should be a really hyper rare card that is really sought after. Yeah, that's like a $15 card. And that's a gold version of a really good playable card. The fact of the matter is, when it comes to battle styles, it might have introduced us to really good decks like Single and Rapid Strike Urshifu, but it's not a set for money cards. Which is understandable given you can buy booster boxes off it for less than $80. It really is as simple as that. Battle Styles right now does not seem like a set you should be investing in. It seems like a pretty budget set, and I don't say that as an insult, I say that as a description. It is a set where the sought after singles are cheap, where booster boxes are cheap, where you're not going to be spending a lot of money at all if you're going to be trying to complete this set or pick up the cards that you want. And even in the future, a lot of the chase cards, they're Pokemon like Urshifu. They are not gonna be those hyper sought after Pokemon in the future, at least I don't think so. I do, however, think this Empoleon over time will jump quite a bit. Okay, so Battle Style's not looking great. Let's go and have a little bit of a look at Chilling Reign. And Chilling Reign has a lot of very cool stuff in. And we do have 3 cards in the set, which are, I think, fairly described as money cards. So you've got that alternate art of Blaziken V Max, which is coming in at around about $100 card. That is one. It's not, for me, I'm not loving the artwork, but I know it's very popular and a lot of people do love it. That's settled at about a $100 card. You've got things like Gold Snorlax, which is settling at around about an $85 card. And it's a playable card, but largely here, Snorlax is hyper popular. This is the gold version. This shouldn't really be surprising anyone. People love that Snorlax. And then you've got your Galarian Moltres V, the alternate art, which seems to be around about, again, an $85 to $90-ish card. I did manage to pull that from an Elite Trainer box, which I didn't want to buy in the first place, which made me look a bit silly. This is a hyper-playable card. It is worth pointing out. It's very popular, so he's playing a whole bunch of decks. So it is absolutely possible that in the future the price goes down when it's not playable anymore. But it's also worth bearing in mind that Galarian Moltres, this artwork, is one that people absolutely adore. So even when it's not playable, the artwork might keep it up there. You've got that alternate art of Shadow Rider Calyrex, that amazing artwork by Mitsuhiro Arita, which comes in at around about a $60 card, which is very popular. And then you've got that kind of slightly under tier, things like Galarian Zapdos V, Ice Rider Calyrex V Max, Zero Aura V, which are coming in at around about $45-ish. Again, these are rough prices, don't kind of hold me to them. But it's nice to have an idea of roughly what they're going for. We are comparing here, and for comparison purposes, it works quite nicely. But then you got stuff like that Ice Rider Calyrex V, which I weirdly have in Portuguese and Japanese, but not English. I really need to fix that. That's like a $25 card nowadays, which is why I really need to fix it. I need an English version of it. The artwork is stunning. It's Okacheke. First secret rare, whatever you want to call it, Okacheke ever did. I need to get my hands on it with English writing on. But the point is, you know, that's on the lower tier, but it's still a $25 card. But you've got 3 really good cards here, in terms of value at least. And then you've got another half a dozen, which are very much worth picking up. So even though booster boxes are quite cheap, Chilling Reign has a bunch of cards which are worth a bit now, and are probably going to be so in the future as well. Now, carrying on chronologically, we get to Evolving Skies, and look, you know Evolving Skies is going to be a good set in terms of singles. You've seen the price of booster boxes. Booster boxes are largely reflective of how likely you are to get a good card. The better the cards in them, the better the set is, the higher the price is. That should be pretty obvious. The reason why Evolving Skies booster boxes have risen in price, why you can't get them at retail, whereas all the others you can get and I mean significantly below retail, is because Evolving Skies is full of really, really good cards. The star is very clearly Umbreon VMAX. The alternate art of that, you're looking at somewhere in the region of $220. That is a crazy expensive card. But that is not the only card. There are multiple cards in Evolving Skies that are significantly more expensive than any card we've seen in the other sets. We could look at Rayquaza VMAX, that's about a $200 card. And then you got a bunch of evolutions. Your Leafeon and Sylveon are both sitting there at around about $100, which makes me sad because Leafeon is another Hyagonasuke card which I need to be trying to find. And incidentally, they are playable. I mean, don't get me wrong, Sylveon's very, very popular, but both Leafeon and Sylveon are proven to be very good cards playability-wise, so that is going to increase the value of them. I'm hoping Leafeon falls over time as the deck gets worse. But then you've got things like Glaceon VMAX, which is about a $90 card. The Umbreon V Alternate Art, which is about $80. Rayquaza V, which is about $80. Dragonite V is about $70. Sylveon V is about $60. Glaceon V is about $60. Leafeon V is about $60. Espeon is just a tad below $60. And these are just the cards that are $60 or more. That's not looking at all of these other cards. And as we've said so many times lately, when we're looking at these kind of issues, when we're looking at the most expensive cards, you're basically talking about evolutions. Although Evolving Skies does bring in dragons, I've told you about Rayquaza card, there was a Dragonite card in there I mentioned a moment ago. So what we basically got is Rayquaza plus the evolutions plus these amazing alternate art cards, and there is a reason why the booster box of Evolving Skies was so much higher than the other three, because the singles just knock them out of the water. And Fusion Strike is cool, but as we move in, let me be clear, it's not going to be Evolving Skies. You've got Espeon VMAX, which is just shy of $100, and Gengar VMAX, which is just shy of $100. Both of those, like I say, they're probably not quite at $100, but they're not a million miles away. And then we've got Mew VMAX, the alternate art, that we all expected to settle as the highest, or at least I did, which is settled at about $80, which is fine, but it's not up there with the other two. And then there's basically a gigantic drop-off after that. You've got the Rainbow Rare Mew V Max, which is about $55, and the alternate art of Mew V, which is about $50. But again, we did 3 cards, and then we're under $50. Which did not happen with Evolving Skies. And then you've got some other cool ones. Your Genesect V, Inteleon V Max, and Celebi V alternate arts are all coming in around about $25 to $30. But we have not gone through that many cards, and we've already dropped to $25 to $30. Fusion Strike is a cool set, but it is the Mew set. After the cards I've mentioned, the next most expensive is regular Mew V Max, which comes in at $25. And that's because Mew Genesect at the moment, and this is all subject to change, of course, but as I record this, Mew Genesect is the best deck in the game. It came out and was an absolute powerhouse. But again, we're talking about playability, and playability wanes. And if you're looking at a set you want to be buying into, getting booster boxes of, buying singles, building a collection, whatever, you want to be looking at sets which are going to be good in the long run. Well, Evolving Skies is always going to have Rayquaza and the evolutions that are always going to be super popular. Fusion Strike, it's really a set built around 2 Pokemon, which, in terms of, the chase cards, it's build around 2 Pokemon which are there because they're playable. And when the dust settles, don't get me wrong, Mew VMAX Alternate Art is always going to be a good card, but it's Espeon, Gengar, and Mew. Those 3 Alternate Art VMAXs and very little else. So yeah, when we come down to it, more so than usual in these kind of videos where I'm comparing sets, Evolving Skies wins, and it's not close. It is a landslide. It is a proper, over-the-top, ridiculous landslide Evolving Skies wins and it isn't even close. I think you should be putting Chilling Reign second here, because I do think there are enough cool cards in there that is going to carry it in the long run, but you could put Fusion Strike second because of those high-end alternate art VMAXs. I do unfortunately think that Battle Styles is in 4th place here, which makes me a little bit sad. And again, because those chase cards are generally not really popular Pokemon, and that's what you're looking for, yeah? For the really good sets like Evolving Skies, the chase cards are super popular Pokemon like Rayquaza and the Evolutions. Unfortunately, Battle Styles doesn't have that. And I do think, whereas I think Fusion Strike is an underrated set which will be thought more highly of in the future, I do think Battle Styles will always be one of those sets that people were just never that keen on. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Nice definitive answers, which I like very much indeed. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me which of these sets you like. Tell me which of these cards you pulled. Tell me anything you want to tell me. And then watch a couple of extra videos, because I probably are not sleeping very well at the moment, and that would make me happy. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all that good stuff, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do exactly that. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.